Всем привет, с вами снова я, Эндриху, и мы продолжаем играть в Stanley Parable. И мы остановились на том, что мы прошли игру, ну, и мы следовали указаниям рассказчика. Ну, теперь я буду выбирать свой абсолютно выбор, и вот это будет круто. Не будем обращать внимания. Так, идем.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Нет, я пойду направо.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Кстати, я хотел кое-что проверить. А, что это такое? Не знаю, что это такое, конечно. Просто я хотел показать вам еще одну, ну, как это вам сказать? Ну, концовку это с щитами, ну, щит кодами.
It had really been worth the deep, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
То
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. I'm not asking for me. I'm asking for her. This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting. That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this, to reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
What? Ау.
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven.
Ура!
All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here. This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
Huh?
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence. Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life. But in his mind, he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the...
Так, мы продолжаем, извините. Так, мне нужно на 8 нажать.
And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly.
И, наверное, меня должно нормально слышно. Поиграть с сыновьями. У меня есть сыновья.
So, he went further. He imagined that he came to two open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that
Это
his
будет нудно.
decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold.
Это же с Half-Life.
As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable.
Жили-были. Никто.
It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time.
Я тебя люблю.
But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In
Мой
reality, all he's
компьютер.
doing is
Давай,
pushing the same buttons
давай,
he
я хочу в
always
КС
has.
поиграть.
Nothing has
Не
changed.
нажимать на
The
кнопку.
longer he spends here, the
Нет,
more
подожди.
invested he
Все это время я
gets,
в
the
КС
more
играл.
he
Мне
forgets
за это
which life
платили.
is the real
Ну,
one.
да, ну, пожалуйста, дайте мне в КС поиграть. Я пошел. Я не поиграл в КС. Ну, пожалуйста, дайте мне еще поспать. Ой, как его, поиграть за компьютером. Ну, ладно.
And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it. You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself? I suppose I can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps. Maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again. And Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again. And Stanley pushed a button. And I
Так. Мне надо, походу, перезагрузить игру. Начать сначала. Так. Ну что ж, попробуем еще раз.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Может быть, не знаю.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Ладно. Зайду в эту дверь.
Yet there was not a single person here either.
Очевидно,
Feeling a
никого не
wave
было.
of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Да-да-да, кстати, смотрел видео по Stanley Parable, и здесь есть одна пасхалка, и сейчас я вам покажу.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track. There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet.
И рассказчик
No
нас
reason to still be
вынуждает,
here.
чтобы мы пошли опять в путь. Да. А я этого не хочу.
It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing something.
Нифига делал. Прикольная фраза. Ой. Что дальше будет?
Are you really still in the broom closet? Standing around doing nothing? Why? Please offer me some explanation here. I'm genuinely confused.
Потому что я тебя ненавижу. Дай мне нажимать на
You do
кнопки и
realize
поиграть
there's
в
no
КС.
choice or anything in here, right? If I'd said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for
Нет,
exploring it to find out.
нет, здесь
It didn't even
прикольно.
occur to me,
Здесь,
because literally
здесь,
this closet is of absolutely
это,
no significance to the story
и вот это, все.
whatsoever. I never would have thought to mention it.
А зачем его создавать-то?
Maybe to you this is somehow its own branching path. Maybe when you go talk about this with your friend, you'll say,
О, переписка по скайпу.
did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favorite. I hope your friends find this concerning. Stanley was fat and ugly and really, really stupid. He probably only got the job because of a family connection. That's how stupid he is. That or with drug money. Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers. Well, I've come to a very definite conclusion about what's going on right now. You're dead. You got to this broom closet, explored it a bit, and were just about to leave because there's nothing here, when a physical malady of some sort shut down your central nervous system and you collapsed on the keyboard. Well, in a situation like this, the responsible thing is to alert someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken care of before it begins to decompose. Hello? Anyone who happens to be nearby? The person at this computer is dead. He or she has fallen prey to any number of your countless human physiological vulnerabilities. It's indicative of the long-term sustainability of your species. Please remove their corpse from the area and instruct another human to take their place at the computer, making sure they understand basic first-person video game mechanics and filling them in on the history of narrative tropes in
Я же
video
умер,
gaming.
понимаете? Ну, вы понимаете, о чем я. А, у меня
So that the
залагало так
irony and
спокойно.
insightful commentary of this game is not lost on them.
А, вообще так спокойно залагало. Не, ну
Alright,
реально
when you've
залагало,
done
я
that,
думаю,
just
на
step
этом
out
я
into the
закончила.
hallway. Ah, second player. It's good to have you on board. I guarantee you can't do any worse than the person who came before you.
Ладно, я думаю, на этом закончу, потому что у меня залагал Stanley Parable. С вами был Играем. Подписывайтесь, ставьте лайки и всем пока.